Now, I want to mention something that happened while we were in Whyalla. And I've got to say, I saw this speech live, and it is one of the best that Scott Morrison has ever delivered. It's not full of the soaring rhetoric that people get very excited by, but it is a bloke who has kids speaking to a whole collection of other kids about why their mental health matters. Here is part of his address that he made in Sydney yesterday, and I reckon you can see the dad in him here, but you can also see that fundamental connection that any leader has to have with people, and certainly to be able to read a room and speak to it. So a week ago he's hanging out with the Queen. A week later, this is what he's telling school kids.
You might think, well, those challenges are small compared to what everyone else is dealing with. But they're not. Why? Because you matter. And the things that are affecting you matter. And if you're dealing with those anxieties and those challenges, or you don't understand why you feel the way you feel, whether you can't get up out of bed, or you can't motivate yourself to do the things that you seem like all the other kids can do, or you're having difficulties at home and you can't understand why, and you're really frustrated about it, these are all things that you can get help with.
I love that he did it with the no notes, away from the lectern, and he's just, I mean, look, it's such simple stuff, and people will think that there's no great achievement in saying things like that, but so often our elected officials walk into rooms and want to be profound with these sorts of heavily crafted words, trying to pretend that they're about to sort of deliver one of the great speeches of all time, when what always works is be as normal as possible. In that speech, he went on to say, now, guys, I want you to write these names down. The Kids Helpline, their number, 1-800, there's this number for Lifeline. Look, Google it in your phones, check it up later, and your mate as well. If your mate's not feeling great, remember the Kids Helpline, remember that. And I just thought that was a wonderful note to end on with all of us this week here, because we're all on a great unity ticket about suicide, about mental illness and all the rest of it. But absolute kudos to Scott Morrison for the way he delivered that message and delivered it from his heart straight into theirs, Bronwyn. I loved that. I thought it was great.
And so did I, because he was talking to each kid as an individual and saying, you as an individual matter. Yep. You're not part of some great amorphous mass, which I'll politically call a collective. You are an individual, and what you want and hope for is important.
Yeah, it's this thing where, I mean, James, obviously anyone post-election grows and grows in confidence, and obviously Scott Morrison, for the sort of semi-unique circumstances he found himself in, is able now to be absolutely his own man under his own steam. But I tell you what, he's in the sweet spot at the moment, and the way he acted in front of those kids, we should all be proud of it as parents and friends to know that that was the leader of the country.
I thought that was the best speech I've seen him give by a long, long way. And he did something where he was at his most likeable, you know, like you couldn't help warming to him. Morrison doesn't always engender warmth in people, but to put it mildly, but I thought that was easily the best thing I've seen him do.
Yeah, and look, I'm not suggesting that this is going to be some tactical thing where he'll do more of this, and when he needs to be mourner-in-chief, he'll, you know, change the microchip 1 degree this way and that way. It's just, you can tell those people that just have an ability to be instinctively good at this stuff, and I'm sure that we all have worked for, known, been around, voted for, written about people who have that skill. Morrison's got that skill, Nicholas.
Yeah, I didn't see the speech, but I'm inspired by what you've said, Paul. I'm actually going to go and watch it. I've been touched in my life by mental health issues. I've lost a couple of good mates to suicide, some of them when I was still in school. So I say all strength to Scott Morrison on that front.
Now, I'll send Nicholas the link personally, but I don't have all of your mobile numbers, so I'll make sure that I whack it up on our Facebook page. Just go searching for Paul Murray Live, which, while you're there, go and have a look at Pete, who runs the Elvis Museum in Whyalla. Every room of his house, and he lives in the house, is Elvis. So much so that his kitchen is so full of Elvis memorabilia that, as he told us on telly last night, if he can't cook it in the microwave, he won't eat. he won't eat it, because there's literally no space in the kitchen to even butter toast. I love it. It's very cool. And also the great Samantha Jade. Wow. Thank God you had an HD telly, right? She's fantastic. Thanks to everyone involved in all of that. And those are all up on the Sky News website, skynews.com.au.